Hey everyone, welcome to another Scarf in the Car Chronicle because apparently I get most inspired to talk when I'm in the car and I have my scarf on. One day I'm gonna come up here and I'm gonna be looking more presentable, I guess. Anyhow, I wanted to come and share this because it's dropped on my mind and my heart, and it's been on my mind and my heart for the past few days now. And we really have come to a really pivotal, excuse me, pivotal and crucial time, right, in our lives. And one of the biggest things that's been coming to me a lot lately is, what role are you playing? And I know a lot of people don't would necessarily like the usage of the word role. Everyone is more so like, oh, you gotta be your most authentic self, be authentic, authenticity. I'm my most authentic self. And it's like, yes, you are. But in the so there's two different things. There's something called the micronism, and the macro. I'm just gonna say micro and macro. So micro is smaller. Micro is more closer. Micro is your personal life. What's going in your most intimate life, what's going most intimate within yourself. And then there's the macro, which is the things and places and people all around you. It's the whole world, or it's the whole world, or it can also just be those different people, places, and things that are around you and that's locally to you, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be the whole world. But when I think of macro, I think of the whole world, of how everything is intertwined, right? So yeah, going back to, being your most authentic self, and or the role that you're playing. I don't think, like I said, I don't think a lot of people like to use the word role, because we have gotten so bombarded with being our most authentic self, being, authentic and authenticity. And it makes you feel like you're breaking outside of whatever societal norm, or breaking outside of whatever perceived norm that you normally play, or role that you normally play within your own life, within your relationships and everything. So when you hear me say, we have to learn what role we're playing, it takes you back to, like, you want to reject that rhetoric. You want to reject it. Even for me, when I first heard this come in my mind, I was like, I'm not playing no role. I'm being me. I'm being my most authentic self. And it's like, yeah, you are. Your role is to be your most authentic self. Your role is to be who you feel that you are, that may be outside of what you've been playing, but it's still a role. It's still needed at this time to add to the whole collective of this energy that's on this planet right now, of this energy, of this shifting that you may be feeling inside yourself. But it's a role nonetheless. It's a role that you were given from birth, that you are now able to tap back into, to be more aware of, to feel into, to trust, more so than what you feel, the role that you feel that you had to play. When you first got here, the role that you feel that you had to play to navigate this world, to navigate your life, to feel like to fit in, to feel protected, to feel safe. But no matter what, each and every one of us has a role to play. We all have a role to play when it comes to being in our communities, a role to play when it comes to our friendships, to our relationships, to our family. We were all given a role from birth. It's like kind of what they said in the Bible. I think in the Bible it says, I knew you before you entered your mother's womb, or before you were formed. Something like that. Something dealing with you already been given something, God already knowing you before you stepped into this world, which means you already had a role to play. And we lost that over time for various different reasons. But now it's very, very, very important and crucial to know the role that you play, i.e., to know who you are right now in this moment, to stand in that, We are going through a battlefield of the mind. We are bombarded daily with so much information, with so much data, with so much sensory shit. And it reminds me of that saying that that people used to say, or old folks used to say. I ain't gonna say old folks, but just that saying of, if you don't stand for anything, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And I say that to me with all the information that's around us, that we're receiving through our phones, through the television, through the people around us, energetically what we're receiving from God, from our higher self, energetically what we're seeing from the earth, which that one, that's not bad. We actually need that. But all this information that's coming in, you can get lost in the sea of information. One day you're here, you feel solid and you feel like you got the information, then boom, you're over here. Boom, we're squirreling all the time. The ADHD is off the Richter scale. But you can kind of get lost. Your mind can get lost. Your identity can get lost. The role that you're here to actually be and actually to play can get lost in that, because you're just getting all these different scripts, all these different forms of information, and you have to almost like really tap into your discernment to figure out what is really for me. What really sits well within my body? Literally, how does this, when I receive this information, what is this information doing to my body? What sensations am I feeling? With all this information, we can become very airheaded. We can be up there in the clouds a little too much. But really, what we need to be doing is bringing this information down into our body, down into our energetic centers, letting that process through, feeling this sensation of how that feels in our body and what our body is telling us. It's when we trust the body, we can trust the information that we're receiving, because our body is the receptors of this information. And if we're not able to tap into our bodies to see how this information is making us feel, what ailments may be brought up, whatever it is, we can't really trust our own judgment, trust what we feel like we need to do, or trust what you feel like you're hearing that you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Trusting and having faith and acting even in the fear that you may be feeling. There's an acronym for fear. Fear is evidence of things appearing not real. I don't know, but even understanding what that fear is saying to you, it's, especially being into this digital world, we have to remember that we're still human, that we are still bound by these bodies, and that we need to listen to these bodies in order to effectively create our reality, and also in order to effectively play our role that we say that we are, that we feel that we are, that we believe that we are, what we feel that we've heard that we are. And if you can't trust your body, if you can't trust the sensuality of it all, you can't trust yourself and what you feel like you want to do, what you feel that you are called to do. And being able to trust those promptings. Just like I was sitting here listening to another video, and this also has been in my mind for a long time. Like, I need to say this. And, and even when you are acting, and that's the thing too, when you trust your body and you understand the sensations in your body, like right now, there's a sense of anxiety. Like, oh my God, people are not going to understand this. People are going to think I'm weird or whatever. And being able to sit in that, and still know it, because your body can still get tense because it's so used to maybe some fight or flight, but being able to even sit in that sensation of anxiety or fear and know that you are safe. Know and tell yourself that you're grounded. Right now, you look around you. I'm looking in my environment. I'm like, I'm sitting in my driveway. The sun is a partly cloudy day. There's fucking bees and dragonflies flying all around, and I am safe. So you can move through that fear and you can play the role that you know that you are. I hope this meets you well. Have a good one.